It was 2:11 a.m. when Joey stirred in his bed. A chill crept through the room, even though the windows were shut tight. His tooth had fallen out earlier that day, and before he fell asleep, he carefully placed it beneath his pillow, like always. But when he woke in the middle of the night, something felt off. He reached beneath the pillow, not to find a coin, but something small, hard, and glowing. He pulled it out and blinked. It was a tiny six-sided die, shimmering with a strange blue light, etched with glowing runes instead of numbers. Next to it was a parchment note written in curling silver ink. Roll to claim your reward. Joey sat up, confused but curious. He rolled the die across his bedsheet. The moment it landed, on the number 3, the walls of his room trembled. The ceiling cracked with light. The floor beneath him melted into shadow. Joey gasped as his bed vanished beneath him, replaced by a long, endless corridor filled with doors. The hallway stretched into darkness in both directions. The doors were all different, some wood, some glass, some made of swirling mist, others made of bone or ice. Then came the whisper, "Pick one." He turned, heart thudding, and there she stood. A woman in a midnight blue gown with wings made of crystal threads and stardust. Her silver hair floated as if underwater, and her eyes were bright like the moon. The Tooth Fairy. But this wasn't the kind, gentle creature Joey imagined from bedtime stories. She looked otherworldly, powerful. "This is the midnight game," she said softly. "Only those brave enough to roll may play. Behind one door lies your prize. Behind the others, something else entirely." Joey's mouth went dry. "What happens if I pick the wrong one?" The Tooth Fairy only smiled. "Then the game continues, until it decides you're finished." Joey stepped forward, his eyes scanning the corridor. He reached for the closest door, a tall one carved with vines and snakes. As his hand touched the handle, it sizzled with cold energy, and the door swung open. He stepped through, into a blinding desert. Heat blasted him, sand whipping at his face. He stumbled forward, confused, until a voice echoed across the dunes. "Solve the riddle, or walk forever." The air shimmered, and a sphinx-like figure rose from the sand. Joey blinked in disbelief. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 3 at night? The creature intoned. Joey's brain raced. He'd heard this one before. "A human," he answered. "As a baby, we crawl on all 4s. As adults, we walk on 2 legs. And when we're old, we use a cane." The Sphinx nodded slowly. The door reappeared before him. Without thinking, Joey ran through it, and was back in the hallway. But something had changed. The Tooth Fairy now floated above the floor, watching him silently. Her wings pulsed like heartbeat rhythms, and her gaze seemed sharper. "You passed the first," she said. 2 remain." Joey swallowed. He looked at the next door, this one made of glass, reflecting his face like a funhouse mirror. He stepped through. Now he was standing in his own school hallway, but it was wrong. Empty. Endless. Lights flickered. Lockers banged open and shut on their own. Then he heard it. Laughter. Cold and familiar. From the shadows stepped a version of himself, twisted, grinning wide, eyes dark. "Only one of us leaves," the doppelganger whispered. Joey didn't know what to do. The copy lunged. Joey dodged, running through the halls. Suddenly, he saw a locker glowing white-hot. He flung it open, and inside, he saw a note. "The real you never runs from fear." Joey stopped. He turned, and faced himself. The shadow version growled, lunging again. But this time, Joey stood still, looking it dead in the eyes. The copy froze, then cracked like glass and vanished. The door reappeared. Joey stepped through. The Tooth Fairy hovered closer now, her expression unreadable. "1 door left. You're close." Joey stood before a massive obsidian door with a keyhole glowing gold. Unlike the others, this one was locked. "You must earn this key," the Tooth Fairy said, handing him the die once again. "Roll, and accept what the number demands." Joey rolled. It landed on 6. Immediately, a staircase formed behind the door, spiraling down into pure blackness. "No games this time," said the fairy. "Just truth." Joey descended. Each step whispered memories from his past. Fights with his mom. The time he lied to his best friend. The time he stole a toy and hid it under his bed. The regret. The guilt. At the bottom stood a mirror. In it, he saw himself, but older. Sadder. Alone. A voice filled the void. "Your greatest fear is becoming this version of you. Afraid. Unkind. Forgotten." Joey trembled. The mirror shattered. And where the pieces fell, a golden key remained. He picked it up. walked back up the staircase, and stood before the final door. "Are you ready?" asked the Tooth Fairy. He nodded, inserted the key, turned it, and stepped through. Joey blinked. He was back in his room. The moonlight glowed gently through the curtains. The die, now dull and gray, rested beside him. But something else was there too, a coin. It shimmered not with silver, but with swirling galaxies. On it was inscribed, "For the brave who face themselves." The Tooth Fairy appeared one last time, hovering beside his bed. "You won," she said softly. "You faced every door with courage. The coin is yours." Joey picked it up, staring into its depths. "What does it do?" he asked. "It grants not wishes," she said, "but truth. You'll always know what choice leads to kindness, and what leads to pain. Most can't handle that, but you earned it." He looked at her, eyes wide. "Will I ever see you again?" She smiled, fading into mist. "When you forget who you are, roll again." The next morning, Joey woke to sunshine and the coin still on his nightstand. No one believed his story. But he didn't care, because from that night on, he lived every day as if he were still playing the game. And he never chose the wrong door again.